Friday night baseball is next. And good evening, everybody. We welcome you into the Texas League live broadcast here on the show. And now here is the one, the only, John Baker. Well, thank you, Bob, and hello, everybody. Wow, we made it to Friday, and now it is the weekend. It is Game 4 of our 6-game set between the visiting Amarillo Sod Poodles and your Flying Chanclas de San Antonio. Well, going to be a pretty good night here at the ballpark. It is Friday night $2 Dr. Pepper night here at the ballpark. Flying Chanclas baseball, and that is a great deal right there. Series continues tomorrow night at 7:05, and stay in your seats after the ball game as we have the best fireworks show courtesy of our friends at Dr. Pepper. Missions will get ready to conclude the homestand Sunday afternoon at 1:05, and then it's our road trip to Oklahoma. We take on the Tulsa Drillers in a 6-game set there at DCJ Field this next week. Missions will be back home. They take on the visiting Midland Rockhounds beginning on Tuesday, May 5th, and they will be back as the Flying Chanclas on Thursday night, May 7th, and also Friday night, May the 8th. And it's also my birthday, so make sure you wish me a happy birthday in the live chat on that Friday, and so far pretty good. Well, I'm joined in the booth now by my friend and partner, Bob. How are you doing, Bob? Happy weekend to you. And so far, everybody here, happy weekend. Well, a happy weekend to you too there, John. I gotta say, it's gonna be a pretty good night as we get going here tonight. And gotta say, we got a pretty good night ahead of us as we get ready to go. And so far, it is going to be a pretty good night. So, Bob, I was thinking about the weather tonight. I mean, it's beautiful, and evidently they did say by 8 o'clock we could have a thunderstorm, a stray one at most. And so far, I'm looking at the sky, and I literally don't see anything, just the haziness from the humidity. And so far they say about 8 o'clock, which it's 7 o'clock right now as we look at it. And, so far it's just high clouds and, haziness. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, John. But anyway, I guess it is all well with the weather. I mean, it could miss San Antonio if we get something, but most evidently it just depends what will happen. But anyway, it is what it is. Well, anyway, gotta say, I think we're just about ready to get going here tonight. Boy, we got everybody starting to play baseball. Well, Midland is at the top of the 3rd inning against Springfield. And so far, we are just about set to go on this evening. Oh, yeah, just clouds mixed in here and there, high ones, and so far, just a nice evening as we get going here tonight. So, yeah, Flying Chanclas, a SA Missions logo cap. And so far, everybody wearing that on a Friday night. Welcome, everybody, to our baseball game on this Friday night. You've made it to the weekend. Victor Lizarraga is the batter, or the starting pitcher tonight. 4-seam curveball, changeup, and a 2-seam fastball. Getting ready to go for San Antonio. That is Lizarraga. Jack Hurley coming in as we are ready to go. The first pitch on its way. And that is down and in for a ball. The count now 1-0, and we are underway. We are happy to bless every single one of y'all with our tidings of great joy of this blessed weekend that we come on. always a good thing when we come in and everybody can finally just take a break after a long while. No, whether if you go to school or you go to work, and so far just come out to the ball game and enjoy the evening. Get you some of that nice evening air. 2 balls and a strike now to Jack Hurley. And here is the 2-1. That one, ground hopper, straightaway shortstop, throw down to first. And that is 1 out as we begin the evening. Amarillo's starting lineup: Hurley, Ortiz, Reddy will be the leadoff 3. Kenya, Waldschmidt, Vukovic will be middle. Fernandez, Lewis, and Serta will round it out here for Amarillo here this evening. Right fielder Angel Ortiz coming in. And here is the pitch to him. And that's in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Amarillo Road Grays. San Antonio in their flying chanclas with SA logoed cap. Nike tennis shoes as well. Also a good favorite thing when you do play baseball. Nike is always good. 0-2, here's the delivery, and that is fouled in the way. The count now still holding 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count now. Crowd still piling into the stadium as we get going. They're all here about the Dr. Pepper Tuesday. I should say Dr. Pepper Friday. I was going to say Tuesday, but what day am I on? I don't know. What day are you? Don't know. That's going to be right there. Line drive straight away in front of the right fielder, Carpathios. And that's going to get in for the base hit. Danny Soretti coming in now. Wind up and the pitch. That one is high and outside as 1 ball and no strikes to the third baseman. Midland and Springfield, Amarillo and San Antonio, Wichita and Northwest Arkansas, Tulsa and Frisco, Corpus Christi and Arkansas. All ball clubs going tonight. There ain't no rain delays or anything like that. Just absolutely beautiful weather on an April night. Sun and clouds mix, but could be a stray shower here in San Antonio, maybe even a thunderstorm later on. That one is line drive and foul. The count now 1-2. Glad the Drillers are not playing Frisco there in Tulsa, because, boy, they've been having some severe weather just to the east of the metropolitan area. Well, right there, that's a swing and a miss. They got him. And that is out number 2. Well, you say you had a friend that lives out there in Muskogee, and yeah, getting some serious storms right now as it goes through the area. Well, that is for sure. So here is Manuel Pena. 2 outs, runner at first. Here in the top of the first inning as we're underway here tonight. Pena plays at the first base position, which that is pretty good. Been with Amarillo for quite some time, and during 2024 and 25. And that's going to be right there. Line drive and up to right field as Carpathios has to run it down. And with that, the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no waivers, 1 left on. As we head now to the bottom of the first inning. No score through the top half of 1. Be right back as we'll have our Amarillo starter coming up on the mound for the Sod Poodles right as we get back from our commercial messages. About set to go for the bottom of the first. Right now, the Mission's Baseball Network. Well, our starter tonight, Mitch Bratt, is coming in. He's got a funny name. Why do they call him Brat? Because he acts like a brat? Most likely he's a spoiled brat? What would you call that? Hey, be nice. Four-seam fastball, a curveball, a changeup, a slider. Brat now pitching for the Sod Poodles. Mitch Bratt might just come up here and just whoop you if you actually said that about him. Hey, Bratt, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding about your last name, man. Don't come up here and whoop me. 1 ball and no strikes to count now to Francisco Acuna, the first batter up for San Antonio tonight. 1-1 the count now by Bratt. And here's the pitch. That one's downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. Our prep broadcast brought to you in part by West Creek Trail Rides of San Antonio. Book a ride or book online. That is the choice that you can make when booking with us here at our good ranch of West Creek. 3-1, here's the count. And that is in the changeup. The count now full at 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. And strike him out. And that is the first one for Mitch Bratt as he'll struck out Francisco Acuna. Let's go ahead and give the San Antonio starting lineups. Acuna, Roberts, and Salas will be 3. Sanabria, Carpathios, Fabian will be middle. Vertigo, Murphy, and Castañon will round it out for San Antonio.
That's a ball.
Hi, Roberts, the center fielder, strides up now. Don't forget, on May 7th and the 8th, Flying Chocolates will be back to take on the Midland Rockhounds. That Friday night is also my birthday. Well, happy early birthday to you there, John. You're going to be 33? Well, how the heck did you know? I took a guess there. I remember when I was 33. It felt great. Well, I bet it did, man. Here's the 1-2. That one is a pop-up right there. Bounces. And they'll throw him out at first, and there's 2 down. Well, that is okay. Here is Ethan Salas. Catcher tonight for San Antonio here in this one. 1 more out as we get ready to exit the first inning. Wind up and the pitch. That is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Friday night baseball underway, so just come into the ball game, relax, enjoy the weekend. It's time to rest. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch, and that is lofted high in the air, straightaway center in time as the center fielder will make the play to end this half inning, and that'll do it. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio. We head to the second inning. It's no score through 1. So we'll get ready to go as Ryan Waldschmidt will come in and get things ready to go for the top half of the second inning.
And so much more. Don't miss a single pitch and follow us now.
About set to go for the top half of the second inning for Amarillo right now on the San Antonio Mission's Baseball Network. Well, Bob, if you want to do the honors, just get right at it. Thank you, John. And here is Ryan Waldschmidt as he comes in. Now set to go for the top half of the second inning. And here is the pitch by Victor Lizarraga as that is fouled off. The count now 0-1. Yeah, I got to say, Bob, we really have to share this live broadcast. That's what we've really need to start working on. Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, I feel like the past couple of weeks I've been left out pretty much. I do apologize about that, man, but tonight, let's make it pretty good. Here's the 0-2. And that is foul. I do apologize. Bob, take it away. Well, the 0-2, the delivery. And that's a high pop-up up the straightaway left field. Murphy under it will make the catch, and that is out number 1. Well, the designated hitter is A.J. Vukovic as he comes in. Vukovic coming in. And from the windup and the stretch, here is Lizarraga coming in with a strike. And the count now at 0-1. Scoreless ball game. We're in the second inning here in San Antonio tonight, which that is a pretty good thing. So, Bob, I forgot to ask, how's your wife Ann doing? She's doing good. She's literally been up and down. You know, I've been helping her doing chores and all this other stuff. But evidently, you know, she's getting around pretty good. I mean, just can't get around like she used to and stuff. Well, that's a valid point. When you get old, that's what happens.
That's an out.
Well, right there is the third baseman gets a ground hopper straight away up to first, and that's out number 2. Kind of like my grandma, you know, almost 93 years old. Well, she has her neighbor come in and check up on her, and most likely, you know, my uncle and dad goes and checks up on her. Those are the kids of my grandma. That's your grandma on your dad's side. You know, that's her mom. Yeah. Well, up the center, and that's it. And that will do for the half inning. So no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on. 2.5, and no score here in this one. So we'll be right back as Romeo Sanabria will lead it off for San Antonio when we come back. Now set to go for the bottom of the second. Right now, the Mission's Baseball Network. Romeo Sanabria coming in as we get going for the bottom half of 2. Bob, take it away. Thank you, John. And that down, first pitch by Mitch Brett. It's down and in for a ball. The count now 1-0. And that's a strike inside, and the count now at 1-1. Beautiful night here at the ballpark, San Antonio, Texas type weather, right, John? I gotta agree. It sure is. Romeo Sanabria batting a .191. And that's going to be right there. Line drive straight away up to left field, and that's a base hit. Agreeable on that one. That was a pretty good one on that one. Sanabria just come in and get something going. Man, he sure did. Gotta absolutely love Romeo Sanabria. And now the next batter up is Braden Carpathios. And that one's outside. Count now 1 ball, no strikes. And right fielder Carpathios getting going. You know, Bob, we should do this a lot more. We should share the stream evenly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, 2 balls and no strikes. Evidently, you know, like on Sundays when it's bark in the park and stuff, we should definitely get your wife up here, and most definitely she could come to the ball game if she wanted to. Yeah, but evidently, you know, I mean, she got to stay in the air conditioner. Well, this booth is air conditioned. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm getting confused, Bob. Well, I'm sorry if I'm being confusing. Well, ball 4, and right there, Carpathios is getting on. Well, that'll bring up Albert Fabian, the 6-hole batter. I say so far pretty good here tonight. Missions have a 2-on. We've got Sanabria there as second. Carpathios at first. The strike was in there, and the count now 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and that's in for a strike, and the count now at 0-2. Here's the 0-2. And that is outside. The count now 1-2. Boy, so far, not even missing that strike zone, but most evidently they're going to challenge that one and see where it was. And what the heck just happened? That is a strike overturned, and that is out number 1. Well, I got to say, if I was home plate umpire Jeff Andrews, I wouldn't have called that a strike. That still would have been a ball. No doubt about it. In for a strike, in the count now 0-1. Carpathios there at first, Sanabria at second. 1 man out here in the bottom half of this one. And the count now 0-2. And boy, so far, I don't think San Antonio is going to challenge that one or not. And that's a change up outside. The count now 1-2. Now, I'm no home plate umpire, but I tell you one thing, Bob. That umpire knows what he's doing. And that is called 3rd strike, and that is the 2nd out here in this half inning. But, man, I tell you, just one of them things as umpiring like Jeff Andrews, Bill Knight there at first base, David Bautista Jr. out there at second, and the other guy, what's his name? I think he told us that his name was plus Tyler. Tyler, I don't know his last name, but his name is Ty and stuff. I met him this afternoon. He was coming in and we had a little nice chat. So, pretty good on that one. Well, 2 balls and no strikes to the left fielder, Kai Murphy. And he didn't go for it, and the count now 2-1. 2 men on, 2 out in the bottom of the second inning. Well, pretty good right there. And that's in for a strike. The count now 2-2. Well, still a long way in this game to go onward, and so far pretty good. And that one's got high in the air up to left field, and that ends the inning. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. 3rd inning, and still no score as we head to the 3rd in the Mission's Baseball Network. Janzel Lewis will lead it once we get going here in the 3rd inning in the Mission's Baseball Network. Now set to go for the top half of the 3rd inning for the Mission's Baseball Network. Well, here is Janzel Lewis as he comes in, ready to go for the third here for Amarillo. We're 8-9-1 due up here against Victor Lizaraga. Lizaraga. I have to pronounce his name a little bit better than what I'm doing. No balls, one strike, the count now. And here's the windup, and that is outside for a ball. The count now 1-1. Now, fans watching from Water Ridge Field there in downtown Amarillo, welcome in everybody, and a happy weekend to you. Here's a 1-1. That one's chopped foul, still hanging on. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count now. 1-2, here's the pitch. That one is skied high in the air and out of play. And still holding on. 1 ball, 2 strikes to pitch. Called third strike. Chanzel Lewis getting rung up to dry, and Victor Lizaraga. It's Liz Araga. Sound it out, John. Well, thank you, Bob. I will. Here is the pitch. And that's in for a strike. The count now 0-1 to Christian Serta. Victor Lizaraga. There we go. I sounded out correctly, didn't I, Bob? Well, that's good. Just keep on practicing, and that makes perfect on how you pronounce his last name. Lizaraga. Hey, there you go. You got her. Yay. Anyway, no balls, 2 strikes to Serta. Here's the pitch by Lizaraga, and that's going to be right there. Straightaway right, does not hit the ground, nearly did. And that is out number 2. Lizaraga at 56% of his four-seam fastball, 13 on the curve, 16 even on the changeup and the two-seamer. Well, lineup cards turn over. Here is the leadoff batter, Jack Hurley. Hurley coming in from the stretch, and that is a high pop-up straightaway up to center field. And the center fielder takes it himself for the out, and that will do it. No runs, hits, or errors. Nobody on for Amarillo. We're 3.5, still no score. So we'll be right back as Marcos Castañon will lead it off here in the bottom of the third for San Antonio when we come back. Bottom half of the third inning set to go right now on the San Antonio Missions Baseball Network. Second baseman Marcos Castañon coming in as we welcome you back to the broadcast on this Friday night. Last half of this 3 games, 6 games set against Amarillo. 9-1-2 against Mitch Brett. Castañon being the first man up here for San Antonio. Gotta say, a lot of traffic going past this ballpark. Highway 90, and so far pretty good on that. That's everyday San Antonio for you when you're hearing the traffic go by and all this other stuff. That's in for a strike on. Oh, bless you, John. Oh, bless me too. Gesundheit. Or Gesundheit to me. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That one I really felt. It tickled my nose. That's a high pop-up. Out in foul territory. And that is out number 1. Well, that'll bring up Francisco Acuna. He'll be the leadoff batter here for San Antonio. Boy, beautiful night. Wind coming out from left field. It's a breezy night. Would it be a camping-like night here, John? A camping on the field type night. That'd be really good. You know, we're going to have to give some ideas. You know, they could come out, pitch their tents, and, yeah, have a good night. Yeah. I remember a couple years ago, that used to happen. You know, you come out to the field, everything was free. You'd probably get a pretty good sense of what's like on the baseball field, and I'll foul that one off. The count now at 1-2. Frisco leading 4-2 against Tulsa. And that's going to be up, but Acuna says, where the heck was that one? And that is called for a strike, and that's strike 3. Man, Jeff Andrews, I got to say, that guy, I think that should have been a ball right there instead of the third strike being issued to the first batter. No. And most likely that could have been called that anyway. Well, evidently a call got overturned. It was not 1 ball and no strikes. Now it's a no ball and a strike. So they rotated it. That one fouled off by Roberts. Here is the 0-2. That one is high and outside, 1-2. Bottom of 3, no score to this point. And that is right there, straightaway second. And that will do for the half inning. No runs yet to Rivers and no one on for San Antonio, 4th inning. Straight ahead after our commercial messages. Ortiz, Aretti, and Pena will lead it off for Amarillo when we come back. Bounce set to go for the top of the fourth inning. Right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Angel Ortiz coming in as we get set to go for the fourth inning. And here is the pitch. And in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Gotta say, it's 4 minutes to 8 o'clock here in San Antonio. And so far, gotta say, pretty good. The weather is pretty nice. Don't see any high-top thunderstorms or anything like that. I don't know, Bob. I kind of looking at the weather, and I don't think anything's going to happen. I think it was just a fluke by the Weather Channel. High in the air, straight away, up the left field. Kai Murphy getting there, and he'll make the play for out number 1. Third baseman Danny Soretti coming in. Soretti. And in for a strike, and the count now 0-1. No balls, 1 strike the count. That one is lofted. And that's off the wall. And that's going to go for the double for Soretti. Man, I got to say, John, that is crazy. How that actually just got off the wall, and boy, he pelted that one high in the air. And it really came pretty good. Now, that's for sure. In now is Manuel Pena. And that's in for a strike. The count now 0-1. 0 for 1 line out tonight by Pena. Boy, and the crowds are already coming in. They keep coming in. Dr. Pepper Fridays, always a good thing for our great prune juice of America here in San Antonio. And that is right there, swung on and missed. And that is out number 2. But still holding on is a runner in scoring position. And so far, pretty good on that. Here is the pitch, and that's in for a strike. The count now 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch, and that's going to be right there. Line drive, base hit. And that's going to get through. And they're not going to get him, as that will be a run across the score as Ryan Waldschmidt gets the RBI single in across the store. Now Amarillo gets going, and so far he was in there. And that'll bring in A.J. Vukovic. And that's in for a strike. The count now. Oh, never mind. 1 ball, no strikes. Vukovic coming in as the 6-hole batter for Amarillo. He's been on the team for at least 2 to 3 years already. And so far, pretty good on that. Amarillo leading 1-0 here in the top of the 4th inning here tonight. Wind up and a pitch, and that is pelted. That is foul. Boy, that was awfully close. Just half an inch outside. That could have been a 2-run shot, would make it 3-0. Boy, tell you one thing, John. That would have been a recipe of disaster. Yep, it should have. Well, should have, would have, could have, but it would have been a disaster. You are quite right. Wow, you said that faster like nothing else, like a freak trainer's coming at you. Oh, ha ha, very funny, Bob. Here's the 1-2. Called, 3rd strike, they got him. Got Ryan Waldschmidt getting in there. one run on an RBI single, and it is Amarillo up by 1. We head now to the bottom of the 4th as Ethan Salas will lead it off when we come back here in our broadcast. Now set to go for the bottom of the 4th right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, we welcome you back to a broadcast. Ethan Salas coming in now as that's in for a strike. The count now at 0-1. Salas batting a .212. Pretty good here tonight. So far, as always, it's a good thing. Here's the pitch. And that is chopped foul. So he'll stay alive one more time on top of that. 1-0 ball game. Amarillo leading it. And that one is chopped foul. The count now still holding on at 0-2. Frisco leading 7-3 against the Tulsa Drillers. And man, they are just doing really good, leading the 4 runs. Well, that will be the strikeout for Mitch Bratt. Just getting in and just trying to get something going. Romeo Sanabria coming in. .111 for his batting average. That is foul. And the count now 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. That is right there. Line drive up to left field. That's getting down for a base hit. And pretty good on that as they get going. And that'll bring in Braden Carpathios, the right fielder, as he comes in pretty good here in this game. Here's the 1-0. That's got high in the air, straightaway center, and that is caught by the center fielder for out number 2. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of rough around the edges when you only get 1 pitch, 1 high fly, and that is it. You are out. Designated hitter, Albert Fabian. A strikeout is 0 for 1 of the night. But tell you one thing, it needs to come in and get something going. To tie this ball game up, you need that great equalizer right there at first. Yeah, that is for sure, John. The only way you're going to get in is a base hit. Broken bat right there is a shrapnel. And there's not going to be a play. And that will be an infield hit. So that became a great success after the base hit. And that'll bring in Rosemond Verdugo as he comes in. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout. Three-run shot would be perfect right about now. And that one's high and outside. It's 1-1. Tying run in scoring position. Here's the pitch. That one is high and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Trying to entice him with that fastball. Yeah, that is for sure there, John. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be right there. Ground hopper straightaway. Up at first. In time, and that's the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on for San Antonio. We head for the 5th inning. Amarillo in front by 1. And we'll be right back as Jose Fernandez will lead it off for Amarillo when we come back. Now set to go for the top of the fifth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. And again, we do apologize if we did take a little bit too long to do a commercial break, but evidently we are back now, so let's get going. Top of the fifth inning, Jose Fernandez coming in. No balls, one strike to him.
No,
And that's
ball.
in for a ball. The count now 1-1. Night falling on a Friday night just feels absolutely good here at the ballpark, right, Bob? Gotta say, John, yeah, it does.
No.
And that is going to be 2 balls and a strike, and they're going to find out where that was. That was right through the strike zone. Jeff Andrews got it completely wrong, and now it's overturned to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good thing that the catcher well spotted that. And that's going to be right there. Line drive up to left field. And that will be a no-out single for Jose Fernandez.
The batter number 10, second baseman, Yanko Luis.
Boy, a good shot of where that baseball was. Evidently, it went fair into foul territory, but still a base hit was what it was called. Here is Janzel Lewis. Lewis coming in, and that's going to be outside for a ball. The count now 1-0. 0 for 1, a strikeout last time up. Sun completely going down and field in shadows. Stadium lights now taking full effect in tonight's game. That one's high in the air right there, and that will be out number 1. That will bring in Christian Serta, the catcher. 0 for 1, a line out. And trying to look for a double play ball. That one's high fly in the air. Left fielder Murphy runs it down. And that is out number 2.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 16.
Well, we flip over to lineup cards now. Here's center fielder Jack Hurley. 0 for 2, fly out and a ground out. They're starting to see a lot of pinks and purples here, and that's going to be right there. Pass to the second baseman. Castañon gets him for the out, and that will do for this half inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on for Amarillo. Bottom of the 5th inning for the San Antonio Missions, and it's 1-0 Sod Poodles. Kai Murphy coming up right after our break. You're listening to San Antonio Missions Baseball here in KKYX Country Legends. About set to go for the bottom of the fifth inning as we get ready to go. Thank you, Bob. And yes, we are just about set as we lead off the bottom of the fifth inning on this beautiful Friday night. Sun is getting down and the nighttime is officially upon us as we exit this work week. And we're just about set to go. Leadoff batter, Kai Murphy, 8-9-1 due up in this bottom half. Tying run is Murphy, and that's going to be high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Short and Abner, 2 left-handers getting warming up in the Sod Poodles bullpen. Boy, San Antonio needs a base hit right now or a home run. That would tie us up at 1-1. Yeah, that would be really good for San Antonio. If they could come through here right now, that would be a perfect opportunity to see this team get tied up with the Sod Poodles. That is for sure. 2-1 the count now to Kai Murphy. Here's the windup and the pitch. That is right there over the head of the pitcher. And they're not going to get him. So that was a success right there. So that'll go down as an infield single. And that's going to bring in Marcos Castañon as he comes in. Evidently, he was already at that first base bag as the baseball started to enter into the first baseman's glove. And so far, yeah, he was just far too late trying to get him. Castañon coming in. He flew out last time up as 0 for 1. Well, we got tomorrow night for our night games and our Sunday at 1:05. We get ready to wrap up a good homestand. Amarillo will head home to take on Wichita. San Antonio will head home, or should I say they'll head on the road to take on Tulsa right after this. Back to Oklahoma for the last 6-game road trip against the 2 ball clubs. That is Tulsa and San Antonio. So pretty good on that. I love a pretty good road trip. What about you, John? Oh, I agree. I love road trips. Definitely would love to go back to DCJ Field and watch the baseball teams just go head-to-head. I gotta agree. Well, the manager's coming out of the bullpen, and it looks like that's going to do for this guy here tonight. And so far, Mitch Brett is out of this ball game, and that's going to bring in a left-handed reliever, Avery Short. 4-seam slider, curveball, changeup, and a 2-seam fastball. Avery Short now pitching for Amarillo. Francisco Acuna coming in now as he'll bat in the right hand. Right-hand batter box against the plate. And that's going to be right there. Line drive up to Short to second for 1. They get them both, not in time. As that will be a double play, and that will end this half inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on for San Antonio. And we head to the 6th inning straight ahead. And the Sod Poodles lead it 1-0. Boy, a lot of 3-up, 3-down strikeouts as we look at the instant replays of this half game. And gotta say, it's been working perfectly good for both sides. Except not a lot of hard-hit balls to come by in this game. Yeah, I gotta say, John, you're absolutely right. Well, here is the line score as you look. Amarillo up 1-0 as we enter the 6th inning. And so far, pretty good on top of that. So the batter will be Angel Ortiz as we'll get ready to have our break right now on the Missions Baseball Network. So we'll be right back as we lead off the top of the sixth inning with Angel Ortiz coming in. About set to go for the sixth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, here is Angel Lopez. Or should I say, sorry about that, Angel Ortiz. My bad. Going up against Victor Lizarraga as he'll come in. Do apologize, Angel, and that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. Amarillo leading this game 1-0. Top of the 6th inning. This nighttime ball game, and that is fouled off. The count now 0-2. Boy, that's a beautiful shot right there as we look at the pitcher, we look at the sky. Just absolutely beautiful. That one is right there. Now to play foul, and the count now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and a pitch. And that is right there, and still holding on at 0-2. One more night game tomorrow night. Post-game fireworks along after the game. So make sure you sit back, relax, enjoy the best Saturday night show you'll ever see. And right there, swing and a miss. They got him. And that is out number 1. As Lizarraga just blew that right by him for the out. Well, now you're getting his last name right. And yes, John, he did that pretty good. Here is Danny Soretti as he comes in. 62 pitches by Lizarraga tonight. As that is fouled in the way the count now 0-1. Is 1 for 2 double and a run by Danny tonight. Don't forget Mission's back in their normal home white uniforms tomorrow. That's a high pop-up right there. The catcher will get it, and that is out number 2.
Now batting, the first baseman, Manuel.
Well, the first baseman is Manuel Pena, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a lineout. Here is the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss. He tried to get it, just blew the fastball right by him for a strike.
For the 6th inning.
Oh, I do apologize. I didn't know that was still going. Here's the 0-1.
Ball 1.
And that's down and in for the ball. The count now 1-1. Now, Bob, can you turn that down, please? Sorry about that, John. That's okay. Just keep it turned down while we're in the middle of our broadcast. Right there, hit the third in time. Right to first. And that will do for the half inning. And so forwardly, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for Amarillo. 2, 3, and 4 due up as Roberts will lead it off. Sanabria and Salas will get ready to go. So we'll be right back in this broadcast. This one brought to you in part by Dr. Pepper on this evening. The Flying Chanclas and Dr. Pepper all night long, courtesy of Dr. Pepper. Now set to go for the bottom half of the 6th inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, I got to say, Bob, we got some sad news there in Arkansas. And so far, it looks like Corpus Christi and Arkansas have been suspended because of the rain. So, thought everything was A-okay, but I guess not.
Ball.
Well, that one is outside. The count now 1-1. Here's the pitch. And that is right there. Line drive up to left center field. That's a base hit. Roberts going to first, going to second. And he's got a stand-up double. That is a double meat cheeseburger coupon courtesy of our friends there at Whataburger. Man, that was pretty good. A line drive base hit. Now something finally is going on. After we've been scoreless for San Antonio for 5 innings already, now we're into our 6th inning. Something's going to give. I can feel it. Yeah, so can I.
Ball.
Ethan Salas coming in as he'll take a ball outside. The count now 1-0. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. Tying run in scoring position. Got to say, pretty good on top of that as he will get going. And that's in for a count now 1-1. Here is the 1-1.
Ball.
And that's outside. The count now 2-1. 2-1, here's the pitch. And that is chopped foul. The count now at 2-2. Hopefully San Antonio can come back in front. We'll see. That one is high fly, deep. That is high. That is high. It's going to hit the wall. Runner tagging up from second. And that is a fly out. But, whoa, boy, that was awfully close. It was high, and I thought it was going to get out of here for a split second. But most evidently, it didn't have enough to get going. Romeo Sanabria can easily get the game tied up. And that's in for a strike. The count now 0-1. So far, starting to lose daylight here on this Friday night. And that's going to be high fly in the air. And there he goes. He's taking off. And he crossed the score, and that's an RBI and an out. And this game is tied. Braden Carpathios, the right fielder, coming in, is 0 for 1 a walk. 1-1 tie here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The pitch. And that's going to be high fly in the air. And that's going to get down for a base hit. Going to first, going to second. And he's going to have a double himself. He got there safely. Man, that was a risky move for Carpathios. But lucky enough, he got in there and he made it happen. That is for sure. Boy, that shortstop would have got him out if it wasn't for him to get overzealous and see what he was doing. Yeah, that is for sure. Albert Fabian, the designated hitter, coming in. 1 for 2 single. He's got a runner in scoring position. Tie-breaking run coming in out there at second base. That is chopped foul, and the count now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. And that one is crushed. That is high in the air. And that is up to left center, and that's going to be caught for the out. But San Antonio gets a run back in. They will tie it up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A few hits, no errors, and at least 1 left on as we head now to the 7th inning. And it's 1-1 for both Amarillo and San Antonio here in this one. Now set to go for the top half of the seventh inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Ryan Waldschmidt coming in now as we lead off the top of the seventh inning. Victor Lizarodska coming in as he'll do his seventh inning on the mound for San Antonio. No balls and one strike the count now. And the pitch. And that one is crushed. That's deep. That is high. And that is gone. And Amarillo will break the tie by Ryan Waldschmidt. And Sod Poodles now take back the lead. It's 2-1. This game is still far from over. I mean, the Missions have 9 outs to deal with. And so far, just trying to come back in this one and keep things going. Well, that is for sure, John. But when you look at these boys, they're trying to win and trying to get back from losing the last couple of games they lost. A.J. Vukovic coming in as he'll hit that one high in the air, straightaway right field. Carpathos under it will make the grab, and that is out number 1. Well, let's give some scores. Frisco up 8-6. Sadly enough, Corpus Christi and Arkansas have been rained out. They were the top of the 5th inning, and yes, Mother Nature just came down on them. I think they got the bad stuff from Oklahoma, and so far that's going to get a ball right there in the count now. 1 ball and no strikes. Wichita leading Northwest Arkansas 3-0 as they're the top of the 6th inning. So far 2 outs. That was a ground ball straightaway third to first, and now get Jose Fernandez for out number 2. Denzel Lewis, the second baseman, is 0 for 2. Well, that's going to be it for Victor Lizarraga as he'll get ready to come out of this ball game. Manager on his way out, and so far that looks to do it for Victor Lizarraga as he will get out of the ball game after 71 pitches. And, you don't want to burn out your favorite prospects into a pitching performance. But most evidently, after 71, which that is the total limit of the pitches, that's a time for somebody else to take over. Yeah, that is true, John. You got to make sure that you're watching everybody else, especially if they are a reserve pitcher. And any reserve pitcher could get out on the mound. That is for sure. Evan Fitterer coming in now, and he'll catch that one straight away, and that is a wow. Right there as he'll get that out, and that's the third and final one of that one. But Ryan Waldschmidt gets up, and he gets a tie-breaking run for Amarillo, and it's 2-1 Sod Poodles as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Rosemont Verdugo coming in as we get ready to go for the bottom of the 7th, straight ahead for the Missions Baseball Network. About set to go for the bottom of the seventh right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, seventh inning stretch was already done, and so far we're back at you live here at Nelson Wolff Stadium as we bring you the bottom half of the seventh inning. Amarillo leading 2-1 here in this game. And that's going to be high right there up to left center, and that is down for one away. Sod Poodles are getting pretty good this time around. They lead in a volatile environment, so they could explode again at any time. Slider is down and outside for a strike. The count now 0-1. Yeah, like they did last night. They exploded by the final score of 7-3. Now that is for sure, Bob. Right there, ground ball straight to short in time for the out. And that is out number 2. Marcos Castañon is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. San Antonio still has outs to work with. It's not a bad thing that they're down just a run. They can still come back at some point. Castañon goes after it and swings and misses, and the count now 0-1. Just shy of a little bit of daylight left over. And so far, you look at it, it's now starting to get dark. Stadium lights at full effect, that's pretty good. Playing baseball in the dark, which you do need them type of lights. With a lot of voltage going through them light bulbs. Well, play made, that ends the inning. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio. We played 7 here tonight, on now to the 8th. Amarillo out in front, 2-1. So we're about set as Christian Serta will lead it off for the Sod Poodles when we come back for the 8th inning. Now set to go for the top half of the 8th inning. Right now, the San Antonio Missions Baseball Network. Christian Serta coming in, 9-1-2. Thank you, Bob. And yes, we're back to the broadcast as we get ready to go here in this one. It's the count now, 0-1 is getting going. Springfield winning against Midland. Final score tonight, Springfield Cardinals 9, Midland Rockhounds 2. That one, ground ball, straightaway shortstop. Plenty of time to throw, and
You're out.
that was a pretty good out right there by Sanabria. And that'll bring up Jack Hurley, the center fielder, 0 for 3 ground out in the first. Here's the pitch. And that is fouled off. The count now 0-1. Don't forget our game time tomorrow night at 7:05. You can catch us live. Sunday afternoon at 1:05. And we're off to Tulsa right after that. So yes, we go to Oklahoma for the last 6 times of the year. And then we're back home to take on a 12-game homestand against Midland and Wichita both. Here's the 1-2, and that is outside the count now, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-1 Amarillo here in the top of the 8th inning. That one fouled in the way, the count now still hanging on. I don't see any thunderstorm activity, do you, Bob? No, don't see anything like that just yet. Swing and a miss, they got him. And that is out number 2. Well, so far with Arkansas and Corpus Christi being suspended because of that severe weather, they will definitely make up tomorrow afternoon, the rest of the game, and then the secondary game right after that. And so far, pretty good on that. Well, the score is 0-0, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I got to say, John, they should have probably called that if they did find a winner, but no dice on that. No score. Up to left field as Murphy gets there, and he'll make the play for the final out. And so far, that will do it. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for Amarillo. We head now to the bottom of the 8th. Sod Poodles out in front, 2-1. So we'll have Bryce Jarvis to lead us off, a right-hander. We'll get things ready to go here in this half inning. About set to go for the bottom half of the eighth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Right-hander Bryce Jarvis coming in as we get set to go for the bottom of the eighth inning. Francisco Acuna being the first one up for San Antonio here tonight. We'll take that one outside. Is the count now at 1 ball and no strikes. Our proud broadcast is brought to you in part by West Creek Trail Rides of San Antonio. Call 210-616-6585 to book your reservation. Get in touch with Lana Whale. That's Lanaweyel. That one is high fly in the air up the left field, and that is out number 1. So, the horseback riding. Tell us all about this horseback riding. Well, to tell you one thing, Bob, it cost only $50 for the ride itself for an hour. So that's a cheap price right there. For a party of 4, it would be $200. And so far, if you are military, you get that sweet discount. Ooh, that is good. Right over the head, ground ball, bouncer, straight away, in time by a footstep. And that is out number 2. Man, they nearly got him, and so far, that is just tough. A tough out, but most evidently, they're going to try to do something to go get him. Right there, straight away to first, and that is the inning. Well, nothing doing here in this half inning. No runs, hits, or errors for San Antonio as we head for the 9th inning. Sod Poodles up 2-1. So about set to go as Danny Soretti will lead it off for Amarillo when we come back. Bounce at the go as we head for the ninth inning. Right now, the Mission's Baseball Network. Danny Soretti coming in now as we get set to go for the ninth inning. It is 2-1 Amarillo here in this ball game. And the pitch is in, swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. San Antonio has still the bottom of the ninth inning to work out something. Hopefully to come through and get the winning run to get through and get home and win it by 3-2 if they could get 2 back-to-back home runs or even some base hits going.
No, that's down.
That one is down and outside. The count now 1-2. Frisco leading 9-6 against the Tulsa Drillers. Wichita 5-0 against Northwest Arkansas. Amarillo leading San Antonio 2-1. Top of the ninth here at Wolf Stadium. That one's going to be high fly in the air. Right fielder will run it down. And that is out number 1 on that one. Manuel Pena struck out, line out, ground out 0 for 3 of the inning. Or should I say the ball game? Yeah, I think the ball game would sound a little bit better than the inning. Yeah, for sure. That one is skied high in the air, straightaway center. Roberts will get it, and that is out number 2. Ryan Waldschmidt coming in is 2 for 3, a home run, single, 2 RBIs, and a run. Pretty good night for Amarillo. They got to try to keep ahead of this score. And that is going to get foul, and the count now 0-1. No balls, 1 strike the count. And here is the pitch, and that is chopped foul, and the count now 0-2. Boy, not pretty good being down in the 0-2 hole, but still looking to get going. That is for sure. 0-2, and that's going to be a high pop-up straight away up the left field. Murphy will get it, and that is the half inning over. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on. And we head for the bottom of the ninth inning. Sanabria, Carpathios, and Fabian. Middle half of the order will lead it in this next half of the inning. Derek Law will be the next batter up, a next reliever up. 2.60, 20-8 strikeout rate, 273 over a 197, and so far pretty good. Romeo Sanabria coming in, Carpathios and Fabian will lead it in the bottom of the ninth when we get set to go here in this half inning. Bounce set to go for the bottom half of the ninth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. That'll bring up Romeo Sanabria. We lead it off for San Antonio, the bottom half of the ninth inning. And the pitch, that is fouled off. The count now 0-1. 3 outs remain for the Missions here tonight. Flying chanclas. And that is crushed. That is deep. High in the air. Straight away, it's gone. And we are tied. Boy, one run could win it here in the bottom of the ninth inning. San Antonio is getting pretty good as it comes to these home runs. That's going to bring in Braden Carpathios as he comes in and takes a strike inside. It's the count now at 0-1. Tie ball game now 2-2 as San Antonio pushes across a run in the bottom half of the ninth inning with a 4-hole hitter. Boy, tell you one thing, it'd be pretty interesting to see something going. Here's the 0-2. And that one is crushed. That is deep, high in the air, and it is gone. A home run. And they'll walk it off. That is how it's done. The home crowd is exploding here tonight at Wolf Stadium. My goodness. What a win. San Antonio makes it their 9th. And Amarillo will get their 12th. So far, it was a pretty good night here at Wolf Stadium as 2 runs were needed to win this one. And the final score, San Antonio 3, Amarillo 2. And that right there, my friends, is how things get done. And for this broadcast, this one gets in the books. Evan Federer is the win. Derek Law is the loss for Amarillo. Our final, San Antonio 3, Amarillo 2. And so far, yeah, that was one heck of a ball game. Much needed on a win. And so far, that was really a great game tonight. Come back tomorrow night as we have our 7:05 first pitch. Don't forget on Sunday at 1:05 as we'll wrap it up here at home. And then we head off to Tulsa to start up a 6 game next week. So that, it kind of reminds me of last year when San Antonio took on the Wind Surge. And I got to say, that was a pretty good game. Sunday afternoon, it was a final score of 8-6. It was a tie ball game. And I got to say, that was a broken ball game right as soon as a prospect in the Padres organization came through and he hit a 2-run shot, and it crushed the ball game, out of the ballpark. It was pretty good. Yeah, I got to say, John, that was one heck of a ball game, let me tell you. I don't think anybody would forget how much that will go down in history. I mean, for all of us to see what had happened, it was a pretty good one. That for sure. Well, Wichita has a pretty good lead against Northwest Arkansas, 5-1, top of the 9th inning. And so far, San Antonio has called their game. to a final of 3-2. 2 home runs needed for this game. I mean, it was really, really fun. It was a good night for us here at the ballpark, and so far the crowd, boy, we had a good crowd. 5,500 attended tonight in this ball game, and so far that was much needed. We needed a home crowd to get San Antonio going, and hopefully that's what we will see in the future to come. We will have bigger crowds. We love Wolf Stadium as it is, and yes, crowds just keep coming in. I mean, that's how you make money when you're in an industry in the minor leagues, which that is pretty good. Yeah, I got to agree with you there, John. It is really good. Now, anyway, you guys have made it to the after game show with yours truly, John Baker and Bob. And got to say, finished up this game here tonight. Mother Nature was awfully nice to us to allow us to get baseball going. We have 15% chances of rain, which that's just very, very low. I mean, not going to happen. You might have some fog or whatever. But anyway, I got to say, pretty good evening as we get through it here tonight. I got to say, John, it was a pretty good one. I mean, as you look, San Antonio still staying in, well, I should say about third place, but evidently it looks like the Rough Riders are going to get moved to fourth place as we all look at it. And so far, pretty good on top of that win for San Antonio here tonight. Yeah, I got to say, evidently 3 teams would evidently get into a 9 in wins, and that would be Corpus Christi, San Antonio, and Frisco. And got to say, it's pretty good as we get going in this week. So far, pretty good. But anyway, Corpus Christi in Arkansas has been suspended tonight due to the rain. Thunderstorm activity coming from Oklahoma. And so far, I thought Mother Nature would let us all have a good night, but instead, Mother Nature just tends to be at her ugly side, just east of Muskogee. Anyway, I gotta say, that was a perfectly good night, and glad you guys came out to the ball game. It was much needed. And as I said before, the crowd was much needed. I mean, for San Antonio, this is what we need to be. We need to be here, get things going. But yeah, pretty good night for baseball as we wrap up this one. And so far, just a pretty good night as we all look at it. Yeah, I gotta say, John, we're happy. This was a good win tonight. Well, Derek Law is the loss for Amarillo. Braden Carpathios, a 2 for 3, a homer and 2 bases. Evan Fitterer is the winner on the mound for San Antonio, and so far, I got to say, that was a pretty good night for him as he comes in the bullpen out of relief, and pretty good. Well, anyway, Frisco leading the Tulsa Drillers in a score of 9-6, so the Rough Riders still have a long ways to go to getting done. But anyway, pretty good as we go through the rest of the evening with our final 4 ball clubs. So Tulsa and Wichita going up against, well, I should say Tulsa at Frisco, Wichita at Northwest Arkansas. And so far, pretty good. Ooh. But I will be saying this. I mean, we look at Tulsa 14-4, and boy, they are starting their season off strong against all AA opponents. And so far, yeah, they are going pretty good here in this one. But anyway, gotta say, pretty good night for us here in San Antonio, and for probably our last 4 ball clubs. You know, you got a game going on there in Frisco, Texas, and so far it's getting pretty interesting there in Wichita, or should I say Northwest Arkansas. I do apologize. Well, the wind surge up 5-1 there at Riverboat Field. And yep, so far I know that San Antonio doesn't go there this year, but hopefully this next upcoming year we'll get to go to Riverboat. We'll have ourselves a good time, and we'll see how everything goes from there. But the way that 2027 is hopefully going to go, I just sure hope that Arkansas and Tulsa will be added back to getting going in 2027. Oh, why'd you say 2020? I mean, 2020, you said that twice. Oh, okay, so I apologize about that. So in 2027, we're going to hopefully have Arkansas and Tulsa being back in San Antonio. So that'd be pretty good. Get those 2 teams back on board, and everybody could compete in San Antonio. That would be pretty good, just to get something going. Yeah, I gotta say, John, that would be really good. But anyway, our final score, San Antonio 3, Sod Poodles 2 in this ball game. The Missions winning their 9th, and so far pretty good getting on to this one. Well, anyway, hope everybody has a good night, and so far we will see y'all tomorrow here at Wolf Stadium for Game 5 of our 6-game set. Don't forget, we do have post-game fireworks after tomorrow's game. So make sure that y'all come on by and have a good night on us. Just come on by. We'd be glad to have you. Anyway, we'll see y'all at the ball game. And again, our final score, San Antonio 3, Amarillo 2.